guys? My name is Christopher Middleton, and welcome to Volume 3 in the Passed Away Groundworks series. In this video, we're going to be talking about environments, and for this video, I wanted to do something a little bit different. So I'm going to be doing a few demonstrations of some thumbnails, which are really small sketches, and it's basically how I start off with coming up with ideas for environments. After I do a brief demonstration, I'll be going into some of the work that is already completed for the environment design for the project, and give you guys a quick look at some of what I'm working on. Thanks for watching, and let's get started. Alright, so for this video I wanted to do something a little bit different, and so I'm going to be doing a demonstration of the main way that I start illustrations for environments, for stories, or just kind of pretty much for anything, and that's with thumbnails. And thumbnails are just like quick little sketches that are, I guess they're basically used for just for visual idea conceptualization. When you're telling, I guess, a visual story, I guess it makes sense to kind of brainstorm visually, and I guess that's what this is, just kind of like visual brainstorming, and really just searching for ideas just with pictures. When I say quick sketches, I don't mean as quick as you're seeing them. Obviously these videos are sped up for the sake of time, but yeah, in general, I don't spend very much time on thumbnails. That kind of defeat the purpose. The whole purpose is just to kind of try and get ideas out quickly, and mostly just to think with drawings instead of because like I said, telling a visual story, you really need to think with drawings, and kind of just like let your hands do the brainstorming. The story for the environments for Passed Away are based on a kind of an idea that I came up with, that in the future there are these really huge buildings. I just was calling them mega structures, but they're basically buildings that contain other buildings. They contain basically almost like entire cities. So I actually have some really quick concepts that I did of different megastructures that I'll be showing later in this video. But the idea is basically that you have these really huge buildings where lots of people live. I mean, they're pretty much all encompassing in that there's living quarters, there's places to shop, there's entertainment. Like everything is pretty much, like I said, it's almost like an entire city in a single building. But in general, economically speaking, I guess, the mega structures are like a lower income, I guess you would say, like almost like part of town than not living in the mega structure, because the mega structure is gonna be more cramped. It's gonna have less natural light, because the whole thing is pretty much indoors. In the future, I guess that in my story, the one that I'm kind of conceiving, it takes place in America, but America isn't the the superpower, I guess, in terms of economics that it used to be. So in certain types of things like architecture, aesthetics have taken kind of a back seat for functionality, and the fact that, like, the whole purpose of these megastructures is that wanting to fit more people into a smaller space, while also having people be able to spend lots of money. So like I said, megastructures are all encompassing, so people's living quarters, along with where they shop and where they eat, and pretty much everything, are all right there. I had the idea that they also, there's only public transportation within the megastructures, so You know, there's no cars or anything like that. So I just kind of had it in my head, like, okay, you know, that maybe that's how they like pitch it in terms of building these things that when I show the concepts later, you'll see it would be kind of an eyesore, I guess, in the skyline, just because, like I said, they're not really made to be really aesthetically pleasing. They're just kind of like these really huge Frankensteins of, you know, buildings, where it's just like there's just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of buildings that are all like kind of combined into one really big building. So a big part of the story is going to be taking place, you know, in and around these mega structures, and it just kind of ties into the entire, I guess, backstory, if you will, of, you know, what's happening in the world when, you know, when everything kind of takes place in the story, which is, you know, if this is your first time like watching one of these videos, it's basically, you know, kind of a zombie apocalypse type thing. I thought it would be cool to, because I hadn't, as far as I've seen, I don't think I've ever seen like, you know, a zombie movie that took place inside of the type of environment that this will be, which will be like a very cramped, you know, lots of a place that's really crowded, but a place that's also, you know, like really cramped, really claustrophobic. So I thought it would actually be pretty creepy to, you know, to have like a whole zombie, you know, apocalypse type thing in this sort of environment. I guess let me talk about what I'm actually doing here. So for these, like, you know, like I said, these are just quick sketches that, you know, I try and just do lots and lots and lots of thumbnails whenever, you know, I'm coming up with it. I really, it's a part of the process that that I guess I would have to say that I enjoy the most, just because by the time I'm doing finished artwork, it's like I'm not really coming up with lots of different ideas at that point. It's more just execution, and generally it's usually going to be some sort of, you know, kind of tedious execution of, you know, me just, you know, doing some big detailed drawing of something, which, you know, honestly the most fun part actually is this part, is just like kind of trying to come up with ideas, and just trying to come up with you know, cool compositions, and you know, stuff that's gonna look cool. I guess at this point, when you just got this like really rough looking thing, and you know, every now and then when I actually do one that I really like, you know, that's kind of the height of the excitement, because I kind of, you know, I know that I can do that that more finished and more careful one, and I know that that's gonna look good if this little, you know, if this little crummy sketch looks good. I'm usually pretty confident going into doing, you know, like a bigger illustration of, you know, of the thumbnail, and then just going in and, you know, then it's like, then that makes that next step a lot more fun, because I can actually take my time and just like design, you know, cool stuff to take all this kind of like scribbling and make it into something. So this thumbnail here, this is actually going to be the last demo thing that I do. Then I'll just show some of the work that I've already done. But this last one, it's actually a pan. Like I said, I think I've said it in previous videos, but Passed Away is the whole thing is constantly gonna, you know, it's animated, so, you know, it'll be moving, and you know, there'll be camera work and, you know, effects and that kind of stuff. So so yeah, a big part of it, and one of the things that I'm actually really excited to kind of like show with the project, that I think kind of separates it from any sort of you know, digital comic that I've seen so far, is just kind of like the cinematic feel that it's gonna have, like with a lot of the camera work, and, you know, with panning and parallax, and, you know, like I said, some animation, also with like I things like particle effects, like rain or smoke, or like for a lot of the stuff, especially in the mega structures. I mean, it's gonna kind of have that Blade Runner ish type feel, and it just seemed like like for a movie like Blade Runner, it's just like there's kind of just smoke coming out of vents and stuff in random places, like all the time. And as simple as that is, I think it looks really cool. And as I've been experimenting with different things with the different environments, something small like that just really brings like a painting that I guess normally would just be kind of stagnant. I mean, they might, like, paintings might look cool, but they don't feel like alive, like they don't really feel animated. But when you really when all of a sudden it's like there's a little bit of movement, even if it's just, like I said, just kind of like some smoke, kind of some fog passing by, or just like some for something like this, for most of the, like, these alleyways and stuff, there's like water on the ground. So like if those reflections kind of have a little something, if like a light is just like twitching on and off, it really adds a lot, I've found. And that's definitely one of the things that I'm excited to kind of share with people and to show off with the project. Let's see what else. So yeah, with this one, yeah, I don't really I think that's pretty close to most of the stuff I wanted to say about these. After I finish with this last thumbnail, I'm going to go into just showing some of the work that I've already done for the project. So I guess some of the things that I was talking about, like I don't think I have anything that's completely absolutely finished in terms of like things where the painting's done, and then it also has like the camera movement as well as particles and all the compositing and stuff like that. But I have some stuff that's kind of like in progress that already looks pretty cool, that I'll be showing. So I'll get to that in a second, right after I finish this last thumbnail up. Let's just working with the values. I want to kind of blow it out at the top a bit, like there's just some sort of light coming in there, some water on the ground, some puddles or something. Some light there. I'm gonna draw a little guy in there pretty soon. Probably be Jason. And I think that, yeah, that's pretty much gonna do it for the thumbnails. Alright, so really quickly, I just wanted to show some of the other work that I've been working on for the environment development for Passed Away. Previously I had mentioned the mega structures, and so these are some of the concepts for the mega structures. Like I said, they're just kind of like really big buildings that just contain like almost like an entire city. You can see here I kind of compared it to the Empire State Building to show just like how massive these buildings are. And I just kind of, this is just something dropped on top of a photo just to kind of show the idea of just like how big these structures are. And I started off, this is another way that I kind of start off ideas. These are just kind of like different types of thumbnails where I'm just kind of working with a silhouette. And then there's also just kind of like doing really rough sketches just to kind of get a quick idea of the design for for some of these. So that's them. And I won't say too much, but these are just different designs for different parts of the story. Some of them are more concepts than actual backgrounds or something like that. Like this, obviously, this is just a design for a house that plays a part towards the beginning of the story, and some thumbnails around that, and some designs for buildings that are around, I guess, the main house. Now, this is something I'm working on now, actually, that's currently in progress. This is actually going to be a pan. I'll show a quick preview of what that's going to look like with the effects and everything composited in there. Same with this one. This is another pan. I'll show a little bit of what that's going to look like right there. And this guy, once again, it's just this is just a really early design when I was coming up with the idea for the city. Not all the ideas are actually implemented very strongly in this design, but hopefully I can still find a place to use it somewhere. So I think that's gonna about wrap it up for the environment volume of the Passed Away Groundwork series. Hope you guys enjoyed, and thanks for watching.